Money is one of the most powerful inventions in human history. It decides who gets rich, who stays poor, who grows, and who collapses. And because money is so powerful, everyone wants to control it, especially politicians. At first, this sounds reasonable. After all, governments are supposed to manage the economy, right? But history tells a very different story. Whenever political power and money creation come too close, things start to break. Not immediately, not loudly, but slowly. That is why modern economies created something very unusual. An institution that controls money but is not supposed to obey politicians. The central bank. The idea is simple. Money should be protected from short-term political interests, because politicians think in election cycles. But economies move in decades. A politician wants growth now, jobs now, good news now, even if that means problems later. And the easiest way to create good news is always the same. Print more money, lower interest rates, make credit cheap. At first, it feels great. The economy speeds up, markets go up, people feel richer. But something invisible starts to grow in the background. Inflation. Inflation is not just higher prices. Inflation is the slow destruction of trust in money. And once that trust starts to disappear, it is very hard to bring it back. This is why central banks were designed to be independent. Not because they are smarter, not because they are perfect, but because they are supposed to be boring. They are supposed to say no when everyone else says yes. They are supposed to slow things down when politics wants to speed things up. They are supposed to protect the long term from short-term thinking. But independence is not something that disappears overnight. It is eroded slowly. First, through small political pressure, then through public criticism, then through special situations and temporary measures. And every time the same argument is used. This time is different. But it never is. In recent years, something important has been changing. Around the world, political pressure on central banks has been increasing. Not always loudly, not always openly, but quietly. Through suggestions, through expectations, through special circumstances. And every time the same line is used, we have no choice. This is exactly how independence is lost, not in one decision, but in many small ones. When central banks lose independence, money becomes a political tool. And when money becomes political, discipline disappears. Spending grows, debt grows, and sooner or later, inflation follows. Not because of greed, not because of mistakes, but because the system itself is designed that way. Easy money always feels good at the beginning, and always ends the same way, with a currency that buys less, with savings that lose value, with a society that becomes more nervous and more divided. This is not a story about one country, it is a pattern. Repeated again and again across history, because the temptation is always the same, and the consequences are always the same. A truly independent central bank is not there to make people happy. It is there to make the system survive. It is there to protect money from the people who want to use it for power. And here is the uncomfortable truth. A society does not lose its currency suddenly. It loses it slowly, one small compromise at a time, one exception at a time. Until one day, people suddenly realize their money is no longer what it used to be. So the real question is not, should central banks be independent? The real question is, do we want money to serve the economy? Or do we want money to serve politics? Because history is very clear about one thing. When politics controls money, the people always pay the price.